Should you sell on a marketplace like Etsy, or should you find your success out there in the cosmos of the internet? Well, in this video, we're going to be talking about pros and cons on selling marketplace like Etsy or building your own website and pursuing your own traffic sources elsewhere. Now, I've seen businesses succeed on Etsy, and when they try to build a website and grow it, nothing. And then I've seen businesses that tried on Etsy and it was a flop until they built their own website and generated their own traffic source that made great success. So if you want to know what's appropriate for your business, make sure to keep watching. Hi guys, my name is Vlad, and in this video we're going to be talking about whether you should pursue Etsy or building your own website like Shopify. The biggest misconception about building your own website is thinking that you're going to escape an algorithm. You're going to escape the big honcho like Etsy that makes you do all the things, makes you follow their rules, and when there's an update, you're the one influenced by it, because that's what happened to me literally last week, which is the reason why it sparked the idea for this video. My store all of a sudden had no sales when I woke up. Not until like 12 o'clock. I only got my first sale at noontime, which by this time I usually get anywhere from 30 to 50 orders, which got me freaked out of my mind. I copied my titles of all my listings and I couldn't find myself on search anywhere. Apparently Etsy had their update and I was the one to take a hit for it. And now you think like, okay, well, build your own website, get your own traffic so that this doesn't happen. Well, here's the thing. The misconception is that you're going to run away from an algorithm. Google is an algorithm. I've talked to people that had websites that ranked on Google that overnight all their sales are gone. That happens pretty much anywhere on the internet. So the misconception that you're going to run away from that is not necessarily true. You just have to accept that that might happen and have a plan in order to not be hit by that too much. So what are the pros and cons of building a website versus staying on Etsy? The benefit of staying on Etsy is that the Etsy brand is established. Let's just take for a second that you are on Google selling your Etsy product versus your store product. So the only difference between these two things will be that this one has an Etsy logo and this one has your logo. What will happen is more people will buy from Etsy because they recognize the brand versus your website or your logo, because they don't know TagPup, they don't know what, but they know that Etsy has a terms and conditions that the sellers have to meet. They know that when they say estimated shipping date, that I'm most likely going to receive that, because if I don't, then the shop owner will get in trouble by Etsy. So they trust Etsy. So therefore, your $1,000 will be better spent in terms of return on your investment on Etsy than your own logo, your own brand. Now, the con in this is that when you spend that $1,000 on Etsy, you are building Etsy's brand. You're not building your brand. So when people are buying something like, oh, that is so cute, where did you buy it? They're not going to be saying, well, it's TagPup, it's a website on Etsy, I bought from them. They're not going to say that. They're going to say, oh, I bought it on Etsy. So you're building Etsy's brand. So the benefit in having your own website is that for every dollar that you do spend on your website, you're building your brand. And the brand, it is the most valuable asset with online business, period. But it is also the most expensive. So Etsy has spent billions of dollars building their brand. Therefore, you spend less money on Etsy because they've already done the work. But long term, you will benefit a lot more, because when they recognize that they bought it from your store, they'll start to search you on Google next time they want to find your store. Or they'll search your store on Instagram, on Facebook, and such and such. So over time, you are going to start spending less and less money as your brand does grow. And there's going to be a point to where you're going to spend less money on selling from your store than Etsy. So that's the big difference, is are you willing to take the journey on building your brand? The other pro and con is this. Etsy does a lot of updates to their UI, UX design. When they update their, say, listing layout, for example, recently what happened to me is that they've changed where you get to select the quantity. It used to be when you click on the listing, you get to select the quantity, then you go on the customization, the personalization, and then add to cart. But they've changed that where they had where now you can select the quantity only after you've added to cart, which personally, I don't think it's a good UI, UX idea, because it's gonna lose customers when they get confused initially. Now, I get their thought is that they're going to be retrained on how to use it, because Etsy users are the ones that have already built-in habits. They're creating their accounts. They're already on Etsy daily, so they'll be retrained on where to find that quantity. But it dropped my sales. It's dropped it. And I'm like, I wish I could change it back. You can't do that. But on your own website, you can do that. The problem with your website when you're building it is that you don't have a full-on professional team. You're a handmade sewer, or you're a handmade, or you're a small business that specializes in one area. You don't specialize in UX and UI design. And even if you do, like me, you're still not coming any close to what the team and the resources that Etsy has to be testing all the buttons, all the layouts, to find the best conversion rates. They usually know what they're doing. So the third thing is that you need to know is that when you're ranking on Google, the SEO of ranking on Google is a lot more complicated than it is on Etsy. It is very difficult because it relies on multiple different factors, along with the heading, the H1 tag, the H2, the subheading, the H3, the description, and then it depends on how much time people spend on your website, where they're scrolling, are they scrolling, what's the conversion rate, and after all of that, it depends on backlinks, building backlinks. What they are is other websites saying, hey, this website is good, like bloggers, right? If they're writing, hey, top 10 pet product stores that you can find on the internet, and then your is linked to that, then Google sees that this store, that is very trusted store, talking about your store, then it improves your ranking. So to find those backlinks, to build those backlinks, it is a very, very, very large amount of work. Companies charge anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 to $7,000 per month just to build your backlinks. And you will only see results until like a year into their service will you actually start to see results. So it is a long, long journey unless you take the social media route. So the social media route means you're growing your audience on social media, which also costs money and it costs time. Now you can get viral, but the percentages on how many people get viral and become successful versus over time building your business and become successful is significantly disproportionate, because the thing is, you're going to have to work a lot to build your to build the traffic. Now the thing about Etsy is that the audience are already there. Because they are already there, it does two things. First of all, the fact that they are already there, you don't have to go and find them anywhere elsewhere, right? So you already have traffic there. You just need to rank on Etsy to get that traffic. Two is that traffic is now warm. That traffic is ready to buy, and they have their cart information already installed. They're ready to buy. Versus if you're selling on Facebook, they're probably sitting on their toilet looking through funny cat videos, and when they see your ad listing, they're not ready to buy. They're not ready to purchase. But on Etsy, they are thinking about, hey, I need this product. Where can I find it? And when they find your product, they are more likely to buy because that is what they're ready to do, which means it's gonna cost you less per click. The fourth pro and con is that you pay a lot in fees on Etsy. There's a lot of fees that are being taken from Etsy. I'm not gonna go into what kind of fees, but it's large enough to really be concerned. Versus your own website, you're only paying for the marketing. Your profit margins are a lot bigger. Number 5 is when you're advertising, say, to Etsy. Let's just say you created an advertisement on Facebook and you created 2 different ads. You did one ad to your Etsy shop and one ad to your store. Now, what's going to happen is people will see the Etsy shop. Now, they'll understand what Etsy is. They'll be more willing to trust it. But what happens is when they go on your listing, they also see your competitors. And so they start to be like, well, I like this initial collar, but I really like this collar, or I would really like this product. And so they're more likely to buy somebody else's. So you spend money on click for someone else. But when they go on your store, it is only your product. And if they like some other product, well, they get to buy it, but it's still coming back to you. So the benefit of building your own website is when you're running off-site advertisement, then you're going to be a lot more lucky in the fact that you're going to get that customer base. Now, if you're selling on Etsy Marketplace and that's the only place you sell, that's actually not a bad thing, because you can also be one of the competitors that they are sending their customers to. It's kind of a community, because when people run advertisement to Etsy shops, they're bringing more customers to Etsy, which means more traffic on Etsy, and which means you get more sales if you are one of the shops on Etsy. So the benefit of being on Etsy marketplace is people are sharing each other's traffic. The negative thing is that people are sharing each other's traffic. So sometimes that's better, sometimes that's worse. The last pro and con I'm going to talk about is Etsy is a really awesome platform when it comes to beginning, right? If you're a small business and you want to start selling, right away, it's a great platform because Etsy takes care of the little guy, and that's awesome. The problem is you can never become the really big guy, right? So there is a ceiling, and for good reasons, because Etsy wants to give everybody the opportunity. So you will never go larger of sales per day on one listing or on one item more than 20 orders or 10 orders, right? No matter how crazy needed product this is or how in high demand this product is, there's still a ceiling because it's going to give opportunities to other people as well. And so scaling your business, there's a limit to that on Etsy. Now you can start on Etsy, but then you can go on a website, because when you're building your website, there is endless amount of traffic on Facebook, on Instagram, on Google itself. And so you are able to sell one product 100 times, 1,000 times a day, and nobody cares. So you are able to scale much higher and much faster on your website, or running traffic to your website from other traffic sources, than you can even on Etsy. Now you can also do that when you're running traffic to Etsy. Etsy will still allow you, but when you're relying on the algorithm, that's where you start to hit that ceiling. And I've seen that with a lot of businesses. They build their business on Etsy, and they found that there's always a ceiling that you cannot go past. Take this information and apply that to your business, because I guarantee you, not one is not better than the other. It is one is more appropriate for your business than the other, and that's where you have to be smart. All right, so that's it. If you found this video useful, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification, because I'm going to have more videos on how to build businesses that work, how to build an Etsy business that becomes the top 1%, and I'll see you next time.